Hey fly tiers, welcome to AvidMax tying tutorials. Today we're going to show you how to tie Greg Garcia's Darth Baetis. We're going to use a TMC 2487 in size 18 today for this fly. I'm going to use for the tail a little bit of black Cape hackle from Whiting Farms. Then we're going to use Vivis 10-aught for the body of the fly, and we'll finish it off with that 16-aught red to stay true to his red head for this pattern. We're going to rib it out with a little bit of ultra wire in wine, the purple color, for this mostly black variation. I'm going to add some Solarez. I'm going to use this Flex formula today because it works really well. The backing on the fly will be some Magnum size Flashabou in black. It's a newer material to AvidMax. Check those out if you have time. And then we're going to use some superfine dubbing and some Midge MFC Midge body thread in black for the legs. All right, so we have our hook in our vise. Just gonna start my thread right about where I want that thorax, just kind of as a marker for myself. Stopping point. And then I'm gonna work back just slightly here down the bend to where I want my body to end. Just like so, and then we'll grab our hackle fibers. So I got them prepped out. These are way longer than what you really need, but I'm gonna just use what I need. So I got them 90 degrees off of the quill there, and I'll grab my barbels, trying to keep all my tips lined up. I'm gonna pull them right off. Don't need too many. You want a fairly sparse tail for this pattern. So let's see here, something right about like that for the tail of this fly. And I'm going to measure it right before the bend using my hook shank, just kind of as a point of marker, and we'll transfer that and tie it in right on the back. Spin my thread so that I get a rear loop and secure it on down to the hook shank there. I'm going to come up and trim it right about where that abdomen's going to end again. And then we're going to just try and cover it up real nicely here with very smooth thread wraps. Key to have nice smooth thread wraps on this pattern, just like if you were going to tie a copper john or something else, because that'll be the main body of our fly here. So I'm going to use some of this small wine color UTC wire, just a nice purple, something a little bit different to utilize on this fly. If you go any smaller than the size 18 that I'm tying here, I'd go to an extra small wire. On the size 18 you can get away with a small. That's what I'm using today. So we're just going to cover that up all the way back to where our tail is there. And then we can work right on up back to where our thorax is and go ahead and half hitch our thread a couple of times so that we can get out of the way. Now for the fun part, this is kind of a big aspect of this fly anyways, is the UV finish. So this is that Solarez Flex formula. And we're gonna apply just a little bit on top here. And then we can come back. You see how tacky it is. So it's easy to work with on this type of pattern. Now I'm just going to move it around and cover up all my thread nicely here with it. So it's a fairly thick consistency before you cure it, which is great because you can, again, move it around where you need it. And it's not going to run on you too fast. It looks like I'm going to need just a little bit more, but that's better than having too much. Just want to try and get it nice and even, covering up all our threads all the way throughout the abdomen here. Helps if you have a nice clean bodkin. But we don't want to build up too much bulk either. We want to keep this fairly thin profile still. Just making sure we got it all covered though. Definitely a very attentive part of this fly, but it gives a look that is unbeat with other techniques. So once we're happy with it, you could play with it some more, but we'll just go ahead and cure it all the way around here. Make sure that it's nice and hardened for when we go to bring our ribbing around. So now we can go ahead and rib out the body. I'm going to do it just slight pressure. It's kind of what's nice about this flex is you can bite into it just a little bit without the material cracking or doing anything funky to you. But we'll rib it right on up to the front, and then we can capture that off right at our thorax there. I'll leave myself a little bit of room for that thread head. Spin out our wire. From this point, I'm going to go ahead and swap out my thread. And to do that, I'm just going to start it right behind the eye, work back to where the black thread is resting. Put our tag in, and just make sure to capture that off. Once we have it secured, we can clip out the black thread we're using and go ahead and tie in our Flashabou, the black Magnum Flashabou, which is a newer material to AvidMax. We got quite a bit of new materials in at the start of 2019, so be sure to check out the new selection. I'm gonna just fix this right on top here. Spin my thread to make it a little bit easier to capture. And then we can just make sure that's secure. I'm gonna build up kind of a thorax here. Clean things up a bit. That's the beauty of the 16-aught thread. Is as important as thread wraps are, 16-aught makes it so that you can be a little bit lax, maybe a little bit too lax sometimes. From there, I'm going to bring in some of this midge thread, and I'm just going to capture it right on top, sneak it under my red thread, and then leave it laying back for now, right with that backing material. From there, I can dub out my thorax. I want just a super small amount of superfine black and a nice tight dubbing noodle. And just to cover up those red thread wraps there, make a nice dark thorax region right on up to the hook eye there. From there we can bring our midge thread right over the top and capture it behind the eye here. So then after that material, we bring our Magnum Flashabou up as well and secure it right behind that hook eye with just a few wraps, and then we can clip out that excess material. And then we'll bring our midge thread and we're going to split it and place it on either side. So we'll do one wrap on this side, do the same on the far side so that they splay out nicely like so. And then just another couple of wraps to make sure they're not going to move on us. And then I'm going to pull each leg back and clip them just past where that thorax goes. And there, and there. Just like so. Make sure you got them even here to look just like that. And then we just give her a nice little whip finish. And you got that nice finished red thread head on front. Greg Garcia's belief, and I'm sure he knows what he's talking about, is that a lot of these Baetis, I'm not sure if it's the males or the females, I can never remember, but one of them have a nice red bulbous head, and so this imitates that very nicely. I'm just going to add a little bit of Zap-A-Gap for security. And that's our finished Darth Baetis variation.
If you enjoyed the video today, make sure to give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see us tie in the future, please drop us a comment in the lines below. For more fly fishing and outdoor related videos, be sure to subscribe to the AvidMax YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there.